Senator Conrad is chairman of the Budget Committee, is a Democrat from North Dakota. Senator, to watch all this play out, what was the point of the Biden talks? What's been the point of the Gang of Six / Gang of Five if we're right back to square one looking for a plan B?
Chuck, you've been in Washington a long time. Look, work expands to fill the time. And I think we all know it's human nature. When you have tough decisions to make, you put them off. That's human nature. So at the end of the day, these decisions have to be made in the interest of the country. Look, if we defaulted on the debt, interest rates would go up. For every 1% increase in interest rates, our debt goes up $1.3 trillion. So this really matters.
Well, Senator, everybody seems to know this. Everybody knows the debt ceiling is going to get raised. Everybody knows that some sort of deal is going to get cut. The question is it going to take, is it going to take an actual 1,000-point drop in the stock market, some sort of free fall like that, to get both sides to say, okay, fine, I'll include extra cuts in Medicare if I'm the Democrats, or I'll include these tax hikes if I'm the Republicans? Is it going to take to the brink?
I wouldn't be surprised if it does take to the brink. Makes no sense at all to wait for the crisis to actually be here before acting. But, some are saying, especially in the House of Representatives, really doesn't matter if you raise the debt ceiling. I'll tell you, if we did not pay our bills, people will find out how it matters, because the credit markets around the world will react. Interest rates will go up. The debt of the United States will actually get bigger. So, we can play this game of chicken and egg, but at the end of the day, we're going to have to pay our bills, and we're going to have a comprehensive plan to deal with the debt threat, because it does threaten the economic security of the country.
Can you get this passed? Can Democrats alone pass this in the Senate? I mean, do you think there are enough Democratic votes to pass something that included some tax hikes if there was no so-called political cover for some vulnerable Democratic senators running for re-election if there aren't Republicans on board?
No, this requires, obviously, a bipartisan approach. The Republicans control the House of Representatives. Democrats have a very slight margin in the Senate. So this is going to require a bipartisan approach, and it's going to require it in both bodies.
What is the sacred cow on the Democratic side that you think you guys are willing to be putting on the table here, that you think the president's willing to put on the table, even if he doesn't get full cooperation from the Republican side?
Well, I can't speak for the president, but I'd say this. It's very clear what the sacred cows are in this town. For Republicans, it's revenue. They don't want to touch it, even if it means reducing tax rates and broadening the base. This is the absurdity of what we face. We are losing $100 billion a year to offshore tax havens. To say that that's a tax increase, to require those who are engaging in that scheme to avoid their taxes when the vast majority of us are paying ours, shame on Grover Norquist for claiming that that's a tax increase to shut down the tax loopholes for some of the very wealthiest among us who are dodging what they legitimately owe by going and hiding out in the Cayman Islands, calling a little house down there, 5-story building, calling it corporate home. 18,000 companies are doing that. So on our side, it's clear the Social Security and Medicare are something that almost no Democrat wants to see altered. They're critically important to the social safety net, critically important to the social contract that exists for those who have paid in for years, expect to get to be eligible. So, look, at the end of the day, the Fiscal Commission showed very clearly you got to deal with all of it. When you're borrowing 40 cents of every dollar that you spend, you're going to have to do a lot of things you'd prefer not to do.
All right, I want to ask you about what's going on in your home state. There has been some good news, it seems. Maybe we have gotten past the worst. Is that what you're hearing from folks back home?
Well, we hope so. But, Chuck, here's the thing that's the wild card, and that is additional rainfall. You saw what happened just a week ago in Minot, North Dakota. We were told that it looked like we dodged the bullet. Then there was 4 to 6 inches of rain in Canada. All of that water had to come right to Minot, North Dakota, because all of the dams are full, the 4 reservoirs are full, and as a result, the flood forecast went up 11 feet in 48 hours. If, God forbid, we'd have another significant rainfall event, we're right back in the soup.
Obama administration doing enough?
They've been great. We deeply appreciate all the help that they've given. We've got more that we're asking them to do because when you got 4,500 people whose houses are underwater, you got lots of problems.
All right. Senator Kent Conrad, Democrat from North Dakota, chairman of the Budget Committee, thanks for joining me this morning.
Thank you, Chuck.